First of all, thank you giving me this opportunity, create this tasks, build RESTful API. So I done this tasks and basically I done the first point, second point, and after that this fifth point and this bonus point. So now I'm going to do this one. For API test, I used basically the Postman and these all are endpoint. So here I used session authentication and authorization as well. So these all are endpoint. So after basically login, user can perform the create node, get node, and also update node. And also suppose user want to get the particular node data, so they can do, and also user can delete the node. First user, this registration endpoint user can create. After creation done, so they can basically login, and after login so they can basically get the particular data, and also suppose they want to delete, they can delete basically very easy way this delete endpoint. So after login, so they want to change the password, they can change one password, and also they can log out. Now I'm going to do discuss one by one endpoint. Basically this CSRF token, so it is basically is used to generate the token. So every post request and delete put all requests, basically we have to use this CSRF token for security purpose. And this endpoint we can know basically user login or not, this check authenticate or authenticated. And using this registration endpoint, so user can register. So after register, user can login. So after login, user can basically perform this all those things, means post node, get nodes. So particular, suppose user want to get the particular nodes, so they can basically use this endpoint. And user want to update node, so they can update node very easily using this endpoint. And suppose user want to delete some nodes, so they can delete using this delete endpoint. Now I'm going to click this get CSRF token endpoint. So you see here, this is the endpoint URL, and if I click this send button, you see here CSRF to cookie set, and also you see here the CSRF token here basically set. So now I'm going to click this check authenticated. So if I click this send button, you see each authenticated false. Suppose user can login, after login basically it will be true. So I'll show you using this registration endpoint. So user can basically register. So after register they can log in. So before going to add this registration, so I have to generate the CSRF token. So you see here I generate already, and I copy this one. After that I click header, and here X CSRF token I add basically this one, and I paste. Now if I click, you basically this email I already saved. So if I click here, you see here user with this email already exist. So I change something 56, and after that I click the send button. You see the data basically visible, the email and name. That means the user basically register. So after register we can going to login. So before login I want to generate the CSRF, because this is the post request. So I generate this one. So after that I set in header. Now I'm going to the login. So if I go, I click the body, and I copy this email, and now I paste here. And after that I copy the password and I paste here. So if I click the send button, you see here login is successful. Now if I click the check authenticated and click the send button, you see each authenticated true. That means user login. So if I create, so if I click this user data, and if I click this send button, we can get the particular user data. And using this delete endpoint, user basically we can delete that user. Now I'm not going to delete this one. So after finish all those things, I'll delete this one also. So user basically already login. So now I'm going to change the password. So suppose if we want to change the password, so we have to give in the old password, and after that we have to give in the new password. So our old password is rani12345. So I copy this one, and after that I paste here, and now new password I give in the rani123. before going to click this send button, so I have to generate the CSRF token. So I generate, you see, I generate this CSRF token, and you see once the session ID here showing. So basically I used here for authentication purpose, session authentication. So you see here one session ID also generated here. Now I'm going to click this change password, and I have to paste here because this is the post request. And you see here Rani 12345, it is the old password, and this one is the old password, and I want to change this password Rani 123. And if I click the send button, you see password change successful. And now if I use this new password, so here, and before going to click the send button, I generate one CSRF token, and for security purpose, and also I use this one in header. Now I click this send button, you see here login successful. Using this logout endpoint we can log out. So before going to log out, so I have to generate the CSRF. So I copy this CSRF, and after that I give in here. Now I'm going to click this send button, you see logout successful. Suppose if we are click this check authenticated, and also if I click the send button, you see each authenticated false, means now user basically log out. So if I going to log in, so I want to generate one CSRF, and after that I copy this one and I paste here, and you see I give in the email and password. If I click the send, you see here login in successful. After login we can perform this post request, get request, and this one also. Suppose if we want to get particular data, so we can use this one, and we want to update, we can do the update. And suppose if we want to delete, we can delete using this endpoint. If I log out, and you see logout successful. Suppose if I want to add now, you see here is the anonymous user because I already log out. So now I'm going to log in. So before login I generate the CSRF once, and I paste here. So you see here login successful. Now I'm going to add the nodes. So before going to click the send button, I have to generate the CSRF. So I generate this CSRF, and I copy this one, and also after that I provide here. So if I click now send button, you see data created. And if I want to get this data, so using this send button we can get basically this data. And basically this, you see node ID is 5. So if I want to update this one, so I give in 5 here, and I click the send button. You see this is the 5 data is showing here. Basically we are not using in CSRF because this is the get request. So if we want to perform this post request, we have to generate the CSRF token. So first I generate the CSRF token, and you see I already generated, and after that I am going to do the post request. So in header I assign basically CSRF here. I want to update this login user which node ID 5. So I give in 5 here, and after that I change this one 40 and this one 50. And if I click now send button, you see complete data updated. So now if I want to get this one, so you see here it is updated node 40 and content 50. Suppose if I want to delete this node, so I can delete very easily using this delete endpoint. So this is the delete. So I have to generate the CSRF. So you see it is already generated, and I copy this one, and after that in header I have to pass CSRF token here. I want to delete basically which node ID 5. So I give in 5 here, and if I click the send button, so you see delete data deleted. So now if I want to get, I click here, you see data not available. Using this delete endpoint, basically we can delete the login user. So first I generate the CSRF, and you see I already generated, and after that I click this delete endpoint and assign here CSRF. After that if I click this send button, you see account deleted successfully, so it is deleted. So now if I click this login, and before login I have to generate basically CSRF. So I generate CSRF and I copy this one, and after that I basically here I have to put, I put and I click the send button. You see email or password is incorrect. So basically this user we are already deleted, so that's why it's giving the email password is incorrect. I give in all this endpoint in export file, so you can test your own system. So that's all about me. Thank you.